All right, so I guess we'll start the meeting with
Joe.
Joe Demore, the town moderator's here to ask a few questions.
Yeah. You could have stayed there, Joe.
Thank you very much, Colin, and this is the hardest working committee and board in Groveland. God bless what you guys do. We appreciate you.
Gotta have water.
So we have 48 articles on the town warrant this year. April 28th is the meeting. We're hoping for a great turnout. We have some really big issues. You guys occupy 42 to 48.
Oh, good.
So that's quite a bit of a chunk there. 42, 43, 44, 45, 46 require a simple majority, and then 47 and 48 require a 2/3 majority. So I'm looking for just helicopter view. I'm conducting, in addition to participating in your meeting, this segment's going to be recorded. I'm conducting a series of educational series, an educational series to help people, prepare for the meeting. So I really appreciate your time, and I value your time, so I'll minimize it. Colin, just quickly explain one thing for me, and before you do that, let me just mention this thing, so that people can get a little bit focused on what we're talking about here. There are segments of the annual town meeting, a summary of, general government matters, but there's 5 big sections: general bylaws, zoning bylaws, community preservation, appropriations, and then you guys, enterprise funds. So for the interested public, what is an enterprise fund, please?
I guess layman's terms, it's a separate mechanism for accounting of our funds. So we are only funded by water and sewer bills. We do not get any tax revenue. So our whole operation is funded by what we collect from water and sewer bills.
Okay.
And it's accounted for separately, so the town hypothetically can't take water revenue and buy a fire truck or, pave a sidewalk. And it's set up so that can't happen.
Okay, and you can't fill potholes in front of my house?
No,
Okay.
talk to the highway.
All right, anybody can chime in, and Colin, thank you again, thank you all. Article 52, we're going to raise 1,700,000 and,
42.
what's that?
42? Or are you going to 52?
No, Article 42.
Okay, you said 52.
said 52.
You said 52.
Oh, I did, I'm
No,
sorry.
That's okay, I just want to make
It's been
sure.
a long day.
It's okay, Joe.
I'm a financial advisor, the markets have been difficult. So you're going to raise some money for Article 42. Tell me a little bit about that, if you know offhand. Again, helicopter view, nothing.
Yeah, so is that the general water budget?
Yes.
Okay,
So that's just our water budget warrant article. I think it's like 1.7, is that accurate?
Yes,
don't-
1 million, yep, 1,741,000.
So
Okay.
that's our operating budget. It's actually level funded outside of the, with that new capital fee that we've added on to the water bills. That's included in that, as well as the funding source to pay for the loan for the engineering work for the upcoming filtration plant.
does that, because I actually don't know, does that include employees also?
Yep,
It does, okay. So that's your budget?
yeah.
Take care of business, okay. 738,000 and change, 738,913 for Article 43.
That would be the sewer budget. Same thing, we're enterprise fund, so that is the money that funds the sewer operation. We have 2 different enterprise funds, water and sewer. So that pays salaries, pays, electricity bills, it pays for all the sewer equipment. And that's,
Okay, I appreciate it. Article 44, 45,000. What is the variable frequency drive?
so variable frequency drive is basically the motor control for, it's what turns on the pumps in the sewer stations. They're like 75 horsepower motors, so you can't just like flip a switch and have it turn on. A VFD variable frequency drive. It slowly ramps it up, and you can adjust the power, and it tells the motor how fast to turn, which, the speed dictates how much gallons per minute it pumps.
44 and 45, and the ones previous, it sounds to me this is kind of routine stuff,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah, this is like every year you come back and
Yeah.
we need money for this, or you're telling us how you're spending the money.
Yeah.
Basically, okay.
Yeah, there's certain things that, warrant articles that we have every couple years. For instance, every 3 to 5 years, we have to have the water tanks. A company comes in and they dive in the tank, actually, and they basically vacuum the bottom of the tank. They do an inspection of the coatings on the inside of the tank. While that's not in our operating budget, we know that we have to pay for it every 3 to 5 years. So every 3 to 5 years, you'll see it in a warrant article.
Pretty proactive, Article 45, water retained earnings to fund water tank cleaning. Just what you were talking about, 45,000, I'm sorry, 70,000 for that as well. By the way, all of these, including the ones that require two-thirds vote, we've had favorable action by both the Select Board and the Finance Board. So you folks will bring in money through the water rates. You're basically, as experts, which you are, tell us how you need to allocate that money. But the people at town meeting still, the voters still have to approve it.
Correct.
Okay. And you submitted all these articles, meaning you, the board, and we have favorable action by both the Select Board and Finance Board after their review that how you want to spend this money is acceptable. So thank you. All right, let's go to number 46 to see if the town will vote to transfer $117,946 for the water retained earnings for the purpose of funding the ban payoff, BAN. I know what that is. Can you tell people what that is?
A ban is a bond anticipation note. It's essentially short-term borrowing. From what I'm told, this is a little bit out of my job description, essentially, but when the town goes to borrow money, if it's not of a large enough size, people don't buy it. If they buy it, it's a bond. If it's a temporary 1-year borrowing, it's a ban. So this article is, it was either last year or 2 years ago, we borrowed money to do well drilling to try to find a new well. In going through that process, we discovered that that was no longer going to be a viable option. So we had asked to borrow about $600,000, if I'm remembering correctly, but this is just repurposing that money to put it towards water main replacement.
Basically paying off a debt. And it's a relatively short-term debt?
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, a couple of the big ones here, number 48, Article 48, 7 rather, and 48. So let's look at these each individually. $466,754 for Article 47. This requires a two-thirds vote. I'm going to stop reading. Just tell us what it's all about.
Yeah, so that's kind of the other half of what the previous one was. The 117 was paying off the amount of money we spent at looking to drill wells. This article is the remaining balance. It's to repurpose the funds that were already appropriated previously, to take that 400 and change and put them towards doing water main replacement.
48, last one, and this happens to be the last article of the evening. Should have put you guys at the beginning of the meeting.
Yes, you should have.
I might have something to say about that next year. To see if the town will vote to appropriate $44,600,000. This is a big ticket item. What are we buying here?
We're buying a water filtration facility, something that Groveland has never had before, but we're being forced to build it by the state and feds based upon PFAS, which is kind of the hot button item right now in the water world. It's forever chemical is what they're calling it. Mm-hmm. We're just over the threshold for the new regulation that came out. So we have to be compliant by 2029. We looked at purchasing water from Haverhill versus building our own plant. We did an engineering study with our engineers and the city of Haverhill's engineers. And my board voted to build our own. Roughly, it's going to be about half the cost to do it ourselves versus purchasing it from the city.
And purchasing water from Haverhill.
Yeah.
So the PFAS, those are nasty little chemicals that are in minute amounts in our water. The federal government basically said we want even less. And that's why the wells that draw our water, it's not less enough.
Yeah, so
So someone would
now-
say that's an unfunded mandate. Here we go again, right?
So essentially, Massachusetts had a regulation. The way Massachusetts did it was they looked at 6 of these compounds and added those scores together, and you had to be less than 20, your results. We were compliant with that. The feds, the EPA, came out with new regulations, which they look at them individually, and you can't be higher than 4 parts per trillion. We average again, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but 4.5. So they don't care if you're 0.5 over or if your results are
Sure.
2 million.
So did you make the decision and then it became favorably advised after review by both the select board and finance? Is that how it works?
So I guess the way it worked is the board votes, the board voted which direction they wanted to take. And then the funding aspect is pretty much gets decided at town meeting.
Town meeting, great, thank you.
This board made the decision of which route to take. They vote to set the rates to generate the money to pay for it, and town meeting gets to tell us if we can spend the money that we collect or not.
2 amazing geological features of Groveland. One of them is gone, rolling sand dunes like Provincetown. The other thing is we have a giant bowl of water, fresh water, fed by springs and underneath our grounds, centered mostly around Center Street. We have wells tapped in there. So we're going to keep those wells as our main water source. We just have to get that water filtered now.
Correct, yeah, we're going to take the 3 wells that we have existing. One's by the solar field and 2 are out back here by the river. We're going to pump all that water to a facility at the Pines on land that the water department has control over. Build a facility there, clean it, and pump it back out to town.
Very good. I grew up in Malden and Everett. I drank MWRA water, so Groveland water better filtered. It'll be better than Poland Springs. Thanks for what you guys do.
Thanks, Joe.